Hey everybody, it's Joyce Look here from Black Hair Compass, and I wanted to come to you guys today with my 10-month lock update. So the theme for this update is going to be a little bit different than I usually do, which is kind of like I have several topics that I kind of touch on, but the primary purpose of this update is going to be to kind of give you guys an up-close look at my locks. I know a lot of you guys, some of you guys have asked me, can we have like a closer view? And I think that it would really be helpful because based on some of the comments, I can tell that what I see in my hair is not necessarily always what translates in the video. So hopefully having the close-up will kind of like bring a little bit more clarity. So one of the things that I wanted to do is show you guys how, well, I'll start with why I'm bringing it up. Someone who watches my videos said, your hair has matured so quickly, like it's almost fully locked. And I always thought that was kind of interesting because my hair is not fully locked and it's not anywhere near close to being fully locked. Based on the rate at which my hair is locking, I don't think that the length of my locks will be completely locked until I am 2 years in. And the reason for that is because if you take the closer look, you'll actually see that all that's visible to you guys is just the tips of my locks. But when I start pulling out my locks one by one, you'll notice that it's just the tips that are fat and then the whole rest of the lock is really, really skinny. And that's something that's going on all throughout my head. I have very, very thick and fat ends, but the length of most of my locks are very skinny and still need a lot more time to actually plump up and be completely mature. The next thing that I wanted to do a close-up on is my roots. Some of you guys have been really interested in how I'm able to retwist my hair only every 6 weeks and how my hair is able to kind of hold its shape. And I think that that's entirely due to the fact that my natural curl pattern is very tight, and it's a very tight coil. So coiling really complements what my hair naturally wants to do. So once I two-strand twist my hair, it prompts my hair to get into the shape of a coil, and once it's in that shape, my hair does not come out of that shape unless I were to comb it. And that's something that I'm obviously not doing now that I have locks. So my hair holds that coil, that tight coil, for a really long time, and that's how I'm able to just retwist every 6 weeks and it still kind of generally holds its shape. The next thing that I wanted to touch on is just some lock imperfections of mine. I know again when I just do kind of like the updates and I do the full 360, it just looks like everything's all good, but I do have some imperfect locks. I have this one lock that's like really skinny along the length and really fat at the end, and I can tell that this is one of the locks that I combined because I can see the two-strand twist pattern along the center of the lock, and I don't know exactly what happened, but this lock definitely thinned. I'm thinking that it's probably due to scissors. I don't remember using any scissors near the front of my head, but it looks exactly like the locks that I thinned out with the scissors, so I'm thinking that that's probably what happened here, but I don't know for sure. Most of the ends of my locks are all sealed, but I do have this one lock that has a curly end, and based on the way that the rest of the lock looks, I don't think that that's ever going to go away. I think that's just going to stay right there because the portion right above it is completely locked. It's very dense, it's very hard. I don't think that any more shed hairs are going to travel down and kind of like absorb up that curly end. So that's something that's interesting because that's the only one that I have like that. All my other locks have ends that are already sealed. Something else that I am very happy about is taking another closer look at my roots. I'm able to see that for the most part, even though my locks are still fairly young, they are already starting to, the hairs are growing with the locks. I'm not really having to do too much popping of my locks when it's time to do a retwist, and that's because I think my hair is growing with the locks. I'm really happy about this because in the beginning of my journey, I had a lot of issues with marrying locks, and it was a nightmare to undo that. And I learned later on that if you really want to prevent your locks from marrying, you need to separate each and every one of your locks after shampoo. But I mean, even outside of that, it just looks like the loose hairs on my scalp are starting to grow into and with the lock. So I'm really happy about that. I always find it interesting to note that I have one well-behaved lock. It's a single lock that is fully locked from root to tip, and there are no lumps or bumps in it. It just locked uniformly, very smooth, similar to how you would see with people with Sisterlocks. It's just one smooth lock and it's completely locked, and it's the only lock that I have that behaved that way. All my other locks kind of bulged and kind of got zigzaggy and bunched up, and this is the only lock that didn't do that. Just outside of the close-up, I did want to kind of touch bases with you guys on some of the things I brought up in my 9-month lock update. I did mention that I was going to start washing my hair instead of every 6 weeks, once every week, and I'm glad to report that the smell that I was kind of picking up on, or that Cam was picking up on, is gone. So I think that me using the tea tree soap and then also including the tea tree spritz in the morning has really helped keep that problem at bay. But as far as the frequency of washing, I don't need to wash my hair once a week. I was doing it because I wanted to get rid of that smell, but ultimately it got to a point where I wasn't washing anything. Like, I was washing my hair, but I wasn't washing and removing anything. I had no buildup on my scalp. I didn't have any sort of like odor in my hair, so I was just washing for the sake of washing, and I just don't need to do that. I do know that waiting every 6 weeks is too long, because at that point I will have some like scalp buildup just from like my natural oils and any sort of dead skin that might be there. I will see that around the 6 weeks, but once a week I just don't see that kind of buildup. So for right now, I'm going to switch to washing my hair every 3 weeks and see if that kind of like is the new frequency. Because like I said, just washing once a week was just way too much. I'm just not washing anything. Like, there's nothing in my hair to be removed, so I was just kind of like washing my hair to wash it, and I don't want to do that. I will say also that it was a good idea for me to switch from the tap water to distilled water, and using the peppermint oil and tea tree oil has been working out for me really well. My hair feels very moisturized. I don't have that odor like I was talking about before. I will say, if you do decide to give it a try, go easy on the tea tree oil. Like I said, I kind of was a little bit paranoid when I smelled that odor in my hair, so I went overboard with the tea tree oil, and I put 30 drops of tea tree oil in my spray bottle, which in and of itself is not a lot of oil. It's like literally less than the amount you would get out of an eyedropper. But when they say that these essential oils are potent, like, they're not kidding. My hair spritz almost smells medicinal because of how strong of an odor tea tree oil has, but it doesn't really bother me because and just like with the peppermint oil, it's also very potent. So like, I think I put 30 drops of peppermint oil the first time, and it was like overwhelmingly peppermint, and I liked it, but I was just like, I probably don't need to use this much. But the good thing is regardless of how much you use in the morning, the smell does go away. Like, I only smell the tea tree oil and peppermint for probably the first hour and a half after I've spritzed my hair, and then by the day's end, the smell's not there anymore. So that's just something to think about. But I did want to update you guys about my washing routine. Definitely not going to be doing every week because I just don't need to. And the distilled water with the essential oils really has been working for me. So that's probably going to be my new routine from now on. I hope you guys enjoyed this close-up look of my locks. It's a little bit different than what I usually do for my updates. But as always, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you guys next time.